I think that pretty much covers it. And when I say SIIT exercise, that's a complete overhauling of my exercise diet. So this is a complete overhaul. This is everything that I do from the timing of, okay, so I'll put that on a separate line, fine. Timing during the day for optimization. Timing during the day for optimization. So optimize time in the day for me to exercise where I'm going to get the most benefits. Doing SIIT exercises, which is a complete overhaul of the way I am exercising, combining that with cold showers, good nutrition, good sleep. This is starting to look like a good formula for physical and mental health. And that's really the key here, is physical and mental, right? This is you see exercise, and it's greatly attuned to body image and these things like that, but it also has a equal benefit for your health of your mind. So mental and physical health. And I don't care what people look like, nor do I care what I even look like myself, whether I was 400 pounds or not. I like the idea of having a path forward that allows me to evolve the way my life is now in its current state, and what I can do to enhance it into its next state. Now whether that means I have 5% body fat or 40% body fat, the overarching idea or the underlying benefit is that it's an evolution of where you are now on your path and rebalancing to move forward with new thoughts and new skills, right? So computer balance is another one for me. One of the ones I don't get into is time, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys have time. I will talk about time, but I didn't really have a rebalancing of time because my schedule is so tight. I'm in a mode where I'm constantly re-optimizing every single week because I'm a content creator, because I do all these things. So time for me wasn't something that I had to balance, because my time is balanced as best as it possibly can, and I do this almost religiously every week. So rebalancing my time for me has become a religious practice from the day I started playing poker, and even more so compounding into my day trading routines and getting more successful in those fields. Time is something that I've constantly rebalanced every week, which we'll talk about. There's just no time balance that I've achieved this week, but doesn't mean we still can't talk about it. So starting with computer balance. So what does this mean for me? This for me is also another important thing: balance in my sleep, nutrition, exercise, also in my work. So you can call this computer balance. You could also call it work balance. So we can just call it work balance. I like to call it computer balance because my life exists all on the computer. So and for everybody here too. So I call it computer balance. We can call it work balance for less confusion. First thing was cleaning up my computer, because saving files, assets, everything, complete mess. Cloud storage, reorganized all my cloud storage. So cloud storage overhaul. So that was updating files, new assets, complete backups of everything that I have on my computer. So, just because I'm a content creator, this is still good practice for everybody. Cloud storage overhaul, complete backups, everything organized. So if anything were to ever happen, it's just a quick click of a button and you're back up and running, right? Like, this is important for everybody. Cloud storage overhaul it's important. Don't like external hard drives, they fail. Cloud storage never fails. It's as simple as that. I've had many external hard drives, and I have children, and they screw it up, or you drop it, or you move it around too many times, or you touch it while it's saving a file, or trying to read memory, access its hard drive disks in any way, and these things can fail. Like, I've gone through a lot of external hard drives, and I've vowed never to do any again. No matter how much you spend, I find that even the best Seagates, high-end Seagates, Samsung, like I've tried a lot of brands and they've all failed on me. So I have a bad experience with external. So I just use cloud storage, and I think I actually just like cloud storage better. M2 hard drive that I was talking about in the open chat, it was one with a big heatsink on it. Couldn't find it. They're kind of sold out all over the world. Not willing to pay a $500 premium to get one. So got this guy here, 980 Pro, 1 terabyte, good enough. What I needed to take this time to upgrade my room. I also am getting, I just ordered a new fan. I always take this time to new hardware, right? New hardware is important. It's important. And, as traders, one of the benefits of being a trader is that these things are write-offs. Fans in offices, clocks, lamps, lights, microphones, hardware upgrades, fans to keep your room cool. For me, noise proofing. These are all write-offs because they're part of our office space. Chairs, Herman Miller chair, like, the Herman Miller chair, they're all write-offs. So this is it's always great to make sure you're running in optimization for the things that allow you to succeed. right? It sounds stupid, but I mean, they're write-offs, and we don't have a lot of write-offs as day traders, so take advantage of those. New keyboard I have all my other equipment that I need. Could use a new mouse. I'm gonna drag this one out. This thing is like so old. It's decrepit. It's falling apart. It's probably about 6 years old, but it works, so I don't really care. I also don't like wasting money. There's a dollar saved, there's a dollar earned, even with taxation money. So, you know, you're better off using write-offs for failed trades than soaking them all into computer equipment. However, if you're making enough money, you can do both. So you're better off if you have the allowance to write off $20,000 in bad trades and you've lost 20 grand. Use that write-off for that, and then we're getting into a different conversation about accounting, which means you need to have an LLC or incorporation of some type. Again, not accounting advice, not financial advice of any type, just my own personal experiences. You can use those losses as a write-off carry forth, right? So anytime you make gains and then say you lose a bunch of money in 1 year, you carry it forward to the next year. Next year you make like 80 grand. You had 20,000 losses from last year. You have a $30,000 tax bill. Well, you have $20,000 of write-off from the previous year. So actually, you can actually just swallow that. Now you keep 70 out of the 80, right? And maybe even you have another $5,000 or $6,000 of write-off. So you made 80 grand, and you can maybe even keep like 75, 76, 77 of it. So different ways to run accounting and business and different things, but it all starts with having an incorporation, doing this from a business standpoint as a trader, not as a sole proprietorship, not as a singular entity. Well, it can be singular entity corporate, but not as a sole proprietorship. So it all comes back to getting an accountant, getting a lawyer, sitting with your accountant, making a plan, telling him what you do, telling him how you want to create a system to take advantage of a tax bracket, because you're going to be an active trader. Okay. Now that's something else I want to talk about real quickly. When you are trading as a company, there's active and passive trading. Active means you are daily taking trades, or you can prove that on a day-to-day basis, you are analyzing the market. So as a passive company, you can't write off as much losses, and you have to pay the capital gains on the, or the capital taxes on the gains. As an active, and that means you can invest in a coin or a stock, leave it for, 5 months, 10 years, it doesn't matter. And then you pay your capital gains when you take those profits. Being an active trading company means that you are day to day. This is your normal everyday routine. You're trading stocks, or at a minimum analyzing them with a plan to take another one. You can analyze for 3 months straight and only take 2 trades, almost like a position trades as an investment, but you can still be considered an active trading company if you can prove you have a journal, you have a spreadsheet. Today is August 7th. I looked at these stocks and I noticed that I will be looking to buy AVE down. Once it reaches this price, I'm cross-analyzing that to Bitcoin. And I spent 3 hours marking levels to complete today's write-up of my analysis. Journal entry done. August 8th, I've now spent my time reanalyzing this position to make sure. Journal entries every day to show that you're an active trading company, because you need to be actively in the market. Doesn't mean you need to actively trade. You need to prove on a day-to-day basis that you are trading every single day, and you are taking that time to either analyze the markets, trade the markets. These are your normal day-to-day options, thus making you an active trading company, so that your write-offs fall under a different income tax bracket. So very beneficial to be an active trading company if you are doing this from a corporate standpoint, which if you are, then you have very big benefits and write-offs. You can go and lose 50 grand and it's okay, because the minute you make 100 grand, you have to pay 40 in taxes. You have 50 with another 10K carry forward to the third year. Year 1, you lose 50. Year 2, you make 100 with a $40,000 tax bill or $35,000 tax bill, let's say. So instead you make 85,000 because you can soak that first 50, 35 out of that first 50. There could be a cap where you live. I'm not sure. Again, this is not accounting advice or financial advice of any type. It's just me talking about accounting in a broad spectrum. And then the third year, you still have a $15,000 write-off that you could carry forth. So year 1, you lose 50. Year 2, you make 135. You take 35 of that 100 and you defer it into taxes. So you actually get to pocket 85, while maybe also having like another $8,000 of write-off for a computer and this and that, thus netting you 92,000 out of 100,000, which is great, by the way. And then year 3 comes and you can take that final $15,000 and defer it there. Again, you are going to have different tax laws and accounting laws where you live. There could be caps. You may only be able to take a certain portion. Write-offs may have an expiry date. There's a lot of things to consider here. It's why you have to sit with an accountant, create a strategy and a plan, take that plan and work up sheet, because your accountant will help you make a strategy to take to your lawyer to make you an incorporation that your lawyer and your accountant can work side by side together in tandem to have a trading company that's incorporated, LLC, incorporation, LTD, INC, whatever, corporate account, non-proprietary, right? And then you can make that strategy with your accountant. So that's a very important thing to note about work balance, because you do have these costs with hardware. You do have these different things associated with going and setting up this business and this type. And that's all a part of your work balance and why it's so important. Although I don't have to do that, so I'm not putting that on my list. I did want to touch on that for you guys because that's important. Don't forget the con write-off. Yep, you can write off you can write off Patreon, you can write off courses if you were to buy them in the past. Yeah, this is training for day traders, so it is 100% a write-off. There's a lot of things that can be considered a write-off, but this is direct one-on-one training, and it should be 100% a write-off. So your patron cost, absolutely write-off. Very, very important to be aware of that, people, that the patron membership you guys pay. A lot of people write that off. Again, you have to do your own accounting. Laws change state to state, country to country, nation to nation, province to province. There's all different based on where you live. One piece of advice I will give you guys is that look as hard as you can to write this off. But the actual piece of advice that I would give you guys, pay your accountant a lot of money, because I see a lot of people go to an accountant. They're like, oh yeah, it's $500 a year. No problem. They help me do everything. No. Your accountant should be like $500 an hour. You should have like a $5,000 accounting bill every year. And that's a write-off in itself. So that's fine. But you should have an accountant who's charging you something like $300 an hour, $400, $500 an hour. You know, you can get $200 an hour. That's fine. But anyways, a barometer of what your accountant should cost is how good they are. And they are your saving grace in corporation law and in legal and accounting, because they work hand in hand with your lawyer to make sure everything you do is never going to hurt you, and everything you do is above board. So you're not kind of in this gray area. We don't really know. And one day you get audited and your accountant really didn't do their job properly, and then you're the one holding the bag. My rule of thumb is your accountant should cost you at least $300 an hour. That's Canadian. Scale it to where you are. And at $300 an hour, it's still on the lower end of the spectrum. You get $500 or $1,000 an hour accountants, $2,000 an hour accountants. Like it goes very high. And obviously $2,000 an hour accountants, that's like, you know, Jeff Bezos is dealing with those guys. That's overkill for what we need. But don't do like the H&R Block thing where you pay someone $500 a year to take care of your entire file. That's no good accountant is going to do that. They are worth their weight in gold. I think nutrition is one of these things that as adults, male and female, and I'm guilty for this too, even though I have a pretty decent health going on and I'm in good shape because I've exercised all my life. I'm guilty for this nutrition thing too. It's not that important. It's all kind of garbage. It's matcha is a good one. I used to always for a long time, I thought matcha was trash. I was just like, yeah, matcha's garbage. I'm not buying that stuff. Who needs that? It's one of these weirdo, you know, whatever drinks. I'm not one of these trending things I would put, but you know, really then the health benefits are beneficial. Who cares if it's trending or not? I think as adults, we often overlook the importance of nutrition and the impacts it has on the end of our life and how long we live and the cleanliness and clarity of our mind and the way we can work every day. I've noticed an instant boost this week. Like my productivity, not only doing my work, is up leaps and bounds. My speech is better. My confidence is up. Like every angle of my life is enhancing right now. It's almost like I'm taking a super pill, but it's because I'm doing all these little changes to help myself. It's a combination of sleep with exercise, cold showers, matcha, less caffeine, rebalancing of my food intake, making sure I am taking my vitamins, not just buying them and putting them in the cupboard, because I'm guilty for that too. I have a ton of vitamins in my cupboard, and I don't, you know, go through bouts where I'm like, I haven't taken vitamins in 5 days. I guess I should take. No, don't miss a day. I'm guilty for this because my schedule is so insane. It's so important to take that time to take care of yourself. Yeah, for sure. It's really important. And that's something that's actually vital as you get older. You start losing feeling in parts of your body, like your feet and your hands, and blood circulation is like imperative for adults who are aging. And we're all aging against time. We're all against grandfather clock. So let's not pretend this is an important thing. Blood circulation is massively important for health. So I cleaned up my computer, complete backups done, cleaned up my desktop, got my computer running optimally, got my live wallpaper that I've been wanting to get for a little while, took the time to get some new accounting hardware, got air conditioner. I'm resetting up my desk, just a complete rebalancing of everything. So my work environment is perfect, because work balance is environmental, right? Like you can even put this